welcome back to my channel. My name is Joanna Holden. I'm an author, blogger, and a vlogger, and with the baby in the room, so please don't mind her if she talks. So my friend and I were recently bemoaning the fact that these character profiles, these 300 questionnaires, weren't really getting us inside our characters' heads when it counted. When we actually sat down to draft the novels, we didn't feel like we really knew what was important about them, like what they really wanted in this story and their character development arc throughout the story, and really even just how to write from inside their heads in a way that was convincing, especially to us as their writers. And we started tossing back and forth some ideas that we had heard that were a little less conventional than just doing a character profile. I actually wrote a blog post not too long ago about my personal frustration with character profiles where you answer a billion questions and it still leaves you feeling just completely disconnected from the character. I'm going to link that blog post down below, so if you want to go read that, check it out. But basically, yeah, I've always struggled with using character profiles to get to know my characters because I don't feel like I'm getting to know them. I feel like I'm forcing information down on a piece of paper. Hi. So I've always felt weird trying to do character profiles. Like, I know I need to know the information, especially like the physical description kind of stuff and the backstories, but it always felt like just too much information on a page. And just sitting there staring at a page full of questions wasn't really getting me anywhere. So we sat down and we figured out 3 ways to get to know your characters that do not include a character profile. Now, all of these have been around for a while. You've probably heard of them, but I'm not always, on time for the band. So if you're like me and you don't always know things, here hopefully are some new ideas to help you get inside your characters' heads. Okay, number 1, a character aesthetic. A character aesthetic is kind of like a character vision board. It's a collage of pictures and artwork and sayings that help you to, at a glance, get a feel for your character. Now, you hear me say the phrase, get a feel for, a lot when it comes to characters, plot, and world building, and that basically means to have a connection with that person, place, or thing, or timeline, or whatever. It's an emotional connection where you understand. And you know where this person is going, you know what they want, and suddenly you can actually write from their perspective, even if you don't know all of their deep, dark secrets. You know enough about them to move forward. That's what getting a feel for means. So an aesthetic is basically a collage of pictures similar to a vision board with like maybe a tagline that describes their character, or my favorite is a line that they say, whether it's in the book or not, that wraps up their personality and their goals for the books in 1 sentence or 2 sentences that you fit on there. So you round up pictures that remind you of your character or of the place where they're from or whatever, and you put them. My favorite right now is just to go to canva.com. That's C-A-N-V-A, canva.com. I'll link it below. And you can click on a collage option and just insert your photos and then slap text on it, and boom, all of a sudden you know who your character is. It sounds kind of ridiculous, but I did this the other day for a story non-Coastlander related that I hadn't done like any prep work for these characters at all. But I slapped together these photos and put up quotes that each of these characters supposedly say in the story, and all of a sudden I knew how to write these characters. Like, I'm excited to start drafting these characters because now I am inside their heads. Note, if you are sharing this publicly, okay, if this is not just for you, you have to have all of the rights. In fact, you probably should be doing that anyway, just to make sure that everything is all clean and legal and everything. But make sure that you have like backed up somewhere the stock photo information or the artwork information, and make sure that either you own the royalties or that it's copyright free work that you found or whatever. Make sure the site that you get it from is legitimate. Okay. Number 2 is to do a personality quiz for your characters. This one is similar to the character profile, but depending on the personality quiz that you use, it could actually give you more information that you will actually need. If you're familiar with the personalities that they are guiding you toward, then it'll really help you to just know instantly, oh, this person is a such and such and such and such. That's why they're acting this way. It'll help with character consistency later on. It will help you to understand their motivations, what they value, therefore what they fear most, etc., etc., without having to just like sit down and scratch your head and figure it out. I would even encourage doing this. My friend did it for not just her main character and love interest, but for like everybody. And she said it helped her with her bad guy the most because her bad guy is relatively complex, so figuring out his motivation was really hard for her. Putting him through the personality quiz helped her to understand what his motivation was, what he valued the most, what he would be the most willing to fight for, and why it was important to him. Now, it's not like a magic box. You still do have to do your own, figuring out of a lot of the intricate details, but at least the personality quiz will help you to figure it out to some degree. There are a lot of personality quizzes out there that you can use. My personal favorite is the GEMS personality test. I'll link that in the description box below as well. And it is divided into 4 categories. My favorite thing about this test is that it doesn't just say, oh, you are a such and such or a such and such, and limit your personality to one type of personality. It actually tells you what percentage of each of the 4 personalities you are, so that you can understand more the complexity of your characters. For instance, my main character, Mark, from the Co-Slender series, is an Emerald Ruby, which tells me very quickly why he reacts the way he does. And his best friend, with whom he has a lot of conflict in the story, is a Pearl Emerald, which means that their personalities are going to conflict a lot because of who they are, huh, baby? And thirdly, you can write a scene from your character's point of view before you ever begin drafting. Now, this is not a scene from the book, so it's not like you feel that pressure to get inside their head and get the scene right because it's going to be in the book. This is just a random scene that takes place before the story begins that helps you to go ahead and start using that character's voice before you have to for the first draft. Oh my gosh, I wish I had thought of this before I started drafting Co-Slender. Usually my first draft is that chance to get inside the characters' heads, but it was such a struggle with Mark, and I don't understand why. Probably because I've just been so close to him for so many years, and figuring out this particular version of him was just throwing me through loops. But if I had taken the time to just sit down and write a scene from his perspective and try to really figure out like what he sounds like, what his thought processes are, what makes his voice different from the others, I would say that this is crucial to a multiple POV book. Like, you've got multiple voices telling the story throughout the course of the book is important because you have to figure out how they sound different, and you'll never know that until the end of the first draft if you don't do some prep work first and just take them for a ride, It's like having 3 brand new cars and you don't know what any of them are going to feel like until you get in the driver's seat, and you take them for a drive, and then you can see how they're all different, what you like and don't like, etc., etc. So I would highly encourage you to do this. It doesn't have to be a long scene. It can just be like, 500 words, 1,000 words. It doesn't have to be long. And it can happen anytime during the course of your pre-writing phase. Next time I do it, because I didn't do it this time, but I will be doing it next time, I will probably do it right before the actual first drafting phase. Once I've kind of figured out my character and gotten inside their head a little bit with the previous mentioned tips, I will slip into the driver's seat and just kind of take it for a test run before feeling all the stress and the urgency of a first draft. So that is all that I have for you today. Hopefully those 3 tips really helped you. Again, they're not new tips, but maybe they're new to you like they were new to me, and hopefully, most importantly, they just get you writing. If you enjoyed this content, please click the like button and consider subscribing because I post this kind of content on a mostly weekly basis. I've been off base a little bit lately just because of the move, but I've been getting back into a writing routine, which I might make a video about sometime. Let me know in the comments below if you'd like to hear about that. Anyways, you can check me out on my website, joannaholden.com, to find out more about me, my books, and the critique services that I offer. Check those out. They're really cool. You can sign up for my newsletter there. Everyone's always like, why would you sign up for a newsletter? Well, there are some definite perks to it, and I'm going to be talking about those in a video coming up soon. For now, just know that there is a lot of fun and helpful writer-related content in those newsletters, as well as, again, first looks at stuff before you find out about it on here. Things like release dates, newly finished chapters that I'm going to be posting to my website, character portraits, you name it, you're going to get it first in the newsletter. So be sure to sign up for that on the way out. Not on the way out of here, but on the way out of my website, because that's where it is. My debut fairy tale novella, Little Hood, the story of the little golden hood, not Little Red Hood, in case you were wondering, is still available for purchase on Amazon, and signed copies are available through my website. There's a bit of a hiccup right now, but it should clear up pretty soon. So yeah, go grab yourself a copy or a signed copy and enjoy for a nice, fun fall time read, curled up around the fire, just enjoying the world of fairy tales. As always, I love you guys. Keep writing. You are awesome, and you are going to finish that book. Just keep at it. Bye, everybody. I'll see you in my next video.